Okay, we're talking about love. So, with this week's discussion board, you're being asked to imagine if you were getting married to your very, very, very favorite person in the whole wide world that just makes all of your dreams come true, like the most amazing person. And thinking about what kind of characteristics, attributes, beliefs, things that that particular person does, likes, whatever it is. But then also on the flip side, what are they like? Can't do it. Gotta walk away, like breaks my heart kind of deal breakers that are the things that just are intolerable to you. Want you to think through. Now, here's the tricky thing. If you listen to this lecture before you do at least the first part of that activity, I don't know, you might need to stop this. I might have to trust you. They're going to stop this and go do it and then come back. Will you? I think you need to. But okay, stop. Did you stop? Have you done it now? And have you come back? And have you looked at the um, answer garden? The number, I wonder if maybe I'll show this later. There you go. A whole bunch of drama for nothing. I might share it later in like an announcement. For you know what, I'm going to do that. So there you go. There's some live deciding on things. But I was going to share what has historically been the most popular deal breaker. And well, no, wait, I'm sorry. I will tell you this. How about this? There's never been a most popular deal breaker. There's never been like a trend or anything else because I do this activity a fair amount. There always has been, for the most part, a most popular mentioned must have, and we'll see what happens this time. So, okay. Thinking about relationships, beginning of relationships, how you kind of find that person. Also, wait a second, one more thing. That person, this one, the one. How do we know that the person's the one? That idea of it, right? Have you ever thought about what society says, what like the statement is that always gets said? How do you know that they're the one? You just know. Have you ever thought about what the, I'm not saying a bad word here, but what the F that means? Have you ever thought about that? Right? Like we talked about critical thinking and how the first general standard is being clear. Well, that's pretty vague. You'll just know. But here's the thing. I have been lucky enough to be married as of last year for 25 years and happily counting to my one, to the person that I adore. And how did I know that he was the one when we were standing out in front of the sorority house the sorority I was in? And I might have been ever so slightly, I was over 21, ever so slightly intoxicated by shots of Midori, like little miniature shots, because I can't. I've never been able to drink, but like little baby shots. Um, that's a dream love story right there, isn't it? But like, how did I know this guy that I was meeting in college was the one? I just knew. I just knew. I just knew. I'm so full of shit. See, I'll say shit. I won't say other bad words. Like, is that helpful? Like, I had to go back retroactively and think about because I teach sociology of families. Like, what was it? Here's what it was. The way he talked about his family, um, kind of the love and respect he had for his parents, and he just was good. If there was a right decision to make, he made it. He grew up in Oregon in like a rural little town, like an hour southeast of Portland. And so, did he drive home probably too fast from his night shift at the McDonald's that was the closest to his house that was like 25 miles away? No joke. Yeah, probably. But other than that, he just was good. And maybe when he met me, I wasn't making all the best decisions in the world. And so those were the things, but I didn't think of those things until many years after. Like, what were the things that I picked up on? How do we know? Okay, so thinking about the beginnings of relationships, Reese's wheel theory of love is one theory I want to share with you that talks about the momentum. Think about a wheel spinning more and more and more. So the very first thing that gets you kind of thinking, ooh, I like this person, is just feeling at ease with them. Maybe having um, like laughing a lot with them, just enjoying their company. So the first thing is rapport. The next is self revelation. When you kind of dig in, you tell each other more stories. Like, how did I find out? When I grew up in Southern California, like many of us right now. How did I find out about the 25-mile away McDonald's drives that he would make the night shift kind of thing? Because we told each other the stories of our lives. So kind of exposing more and more of who we are and what makes us tick. Mutual dependency is when you begin to like rely on hanging out with each other or texting each other or just kind of being a part of each other's lives. So this is again is the momentum of a relationship getting started. Um, my husband's name is Sean. You'll hear me talk about him all semester. But Sean and I decided if texting had existed when we were like early dating-ish in college, which was like 1997 and 8, if we had to get to know each other over text, we would not be together today because I guarantee you, I would be like, I don't even know, 50 sentence paragraphs, and he'd be like 2 words. And we would realize the probably incompatibility of that, that maybe we didn't realize like it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It didn't manifest in the same way in a conversation face to face, thank goodness, that it probably would have over text. So funny how that works. But you know, like that idea of like you love getting a funny text from them or they, check in to see how you're doing because they become a part of your life. And then the last thing is intimacy need fulfillment. You say, we want to be girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend and girlfriend. Like you're my person. I want to be in a relationship with you. That is the final stage of Reese's wheel theory about the momentum of how a relationship happens. The other theory I want to share is Sternberg's triangular theory of love. And so you can see that there's three parts, and right in the middle is consummate love, what Sternberg says is the ultimate love, which means intimacy, passion, and commitment. Intimacy in this case doesn't mean like physical attraction. It actually means really, really close friendship. Passion means physical attraction, and then commitment, right? Being committed to each other. So you can see the points of the triangle with those three things, but then look at the combinations. So you've got passion, you're really, really attracted to each other, and intimacy, you're good friends. So, but you're not committed, right? I mean, do we call it friends with benefits nowadays? Is it like a situationship? Friends, I am old, I don't even know. But like it's the kind of hooking up with somebody you know really, really well, but you're not necessarily creating a commitment to each other. Anyways, companionate on the other side is you're really, really close friends and you're really committed to being in each other's life, but you're not attracted to each other. But then look at the bottom. The bottom's weird. Fatuous love. So wait, you're really, really attracted to each other and you're really, really committed to each other, but like you're not friends. Fatuous love is like the people that like, oh my gosh, I met them a month ago and now we're getting married. It's like the whirlwind romance that you just haven't had the time to, you're jumping into the commitment, but you haven't had the time to develop that intimacy friendship because that takes time, right? So passion can ignite in a minute. Commitment, I guess, is a choice to each other that can be made quickly. But that kind of intimacy, that developing a friendship, if you think about Reese's wheel theory of love, you've got to take the time to get to know each other really, really well. So as we talk about love and we think about relationships, let's pause and think about the relationship we have with ourselves. I have not always included, I've been teaching sociology of families for 12 years now, and I've not always included this topic. It's actually fairly new, maybe like 2, 3 years or so. But that idea of self love and knowing ourselves and knowing what's important to us. We're writing our must haves and deal breakers, right? So we know what's important to us in relation to the person that we might want to spend time with. And I want to make a real clear, like, asterisk on this, like a whatever it's called. I can't even think of the word. Um, Qualification, I guess. When I talk about these relationships and I'm making light of like the one, you're forever and ever person, our society has a narrative, and we're going to be talking about marriage in here, but our society has a narrative that you have to find that person. You have to only be with that, one long-term 50-year marriage kind of person. I want to make sure that we're really, really clear that relationships, just like families and everything else, come in all shapes and sizes. And maybe you're a person that for a myriad of thoughtful reasons does not want to have long-term relationships in your life or doesn't want to be married. All of those choices are completely valid and completely awesome. And I'm so happy that you are knowing who you are and knowing what you want in life. That's awesome. And so I wanted to make sure we're clear about that. But again, going with that theme of knowing who we are and respecting ourselves and appreciating ourselves and talking positively to ourselves and believing in ourselves. But one aspect of this are core values. And so have you ever thought about what your core values are? Can you like articulate them? I don't think I could have until I saw this image. It was shared by a blogger, Cup of Joe. None of you probably read anything because she's like a 40 some year old lady like I am. But anyways, she shared this and this really helped me shape and think about what my core values are. I'll share them in a second. This image right here, and then actually a way longer list, I've included as a resource in the module this week. And I think it would be really, really cool if you just take a couple minutes for yourself and figure out what are your core values. So mine are creativity. I always remember them. Creativity. Oh, creativity. I love my core values. I have no clue. I've forgotten. My core values are creativity, authenticity, and then warmth. Those are my three: creativity, authenticity, and warmth. Authenticity, the way that it kind of gets demonstrated in classes, is just being a real person that just told you about the sorority house in Midori. Like I'm a human being. I am flawed. I don't want that like, I don't know, like robot professor distant, because it's just not who I am. It's not what's important to me. And that goes hand in hand with warmth. And I like that warmth kind of encompasses, I don't know, being welcoming, loving, caring. I don't know. For some reason, you hear the word warmth and you like just cuddle into a blanket, I hope. And then creativity. Oh my gosh, there's nothing I love more in this world than new ideas. Whether it's a school idea, whether it's a recipe. I have so many recipes shared between, they're saved between interest and interest. I just combined the two words. Let's try Instagram and Pinterest, which I guess if you combine is interest. But like I have so many recipes I could cook for the next 3 lifetimes. But like I love crafting, I love house stuff, I love all of that stuff. Like I love gift ideas to like give people gifts. Like I just creativity. It's like my very favorite. It's the thing that just gets me so excited. So to come up with a creative idea or to try and come up with a challenge of creativity. So hopefully by just kind of explaining a little bit of mine, the only reason I'm really talking about mine is so that you can maybe kind of have the energy and curiosity and desire to find yours too. So as we've talked about love, we've talked about what's important to us. We've talked about the momentum that relationships get started with. We've talked about the things that can be components, so says Sternberg, in relationships. And then the most important relationship, arguably, right? The one with ourselves.